Good morning. I'm Peter Milios from the Finance News Network. Global stocks fell on Friday, capping their worst week since March as investors in the US and Europe fretted over the prospect of further interest rate increases and a potential recession. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.65%, the S&P 500 stood 0.77%, while the Nasdaq Composite closed lower by 1%. All three major averages broke multi-week winning streaks. The S&P 500 lost about 1.4%, ending 5 consecutive weeks of gains. The Nasdaq dropped 1.4%, snapping an 8-week win streak and posting its worst weekly performance since March. The Dow was nearly 1.7% lower, ending a 3-week positive run. The pullback was broad-based, with more than 400 stocks in the S&P 500 trading in negative territory. Information technology were among the biggest laggards, down more than 1%. Notably, shares of Nvidia, a major artificial intelligence beneficiary, were down 1.9%. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs shares declined after CNBC reported the investment bank likely faces a large write-down for its 2021 acquisition of fintech firm GreenSky. The stock was down 1.5%, weighing on the Dow. In addition, over the weekend, it has been reported that Goldman Sachs and JP Chase are both reducing their investment banking workforce globally, with JP cutting around 40 bankers in North America and Goldman Sachs cutting managing directors worldwide, as both firms respond to a slowdown in deal-making. In contrast, CarMax shares jumped 10% after the used cars retailer exceeded first quarter revenue expectations. The FTSE All-World Index, which tracks the largest companies globally, slid 1%, bringing its weekly fall to 2.2%, its worst weekly performance since the US regional banking crisis began in March with the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. The Stoxx 600 slipped 0.3% on Friday and 2.6% over the week. The moves followed a week of hawkish signals from policymakers in the US and Europe as central banks prioritised their battle against stubbornly high inflation, even as several economic indicators pointed to a slowdown on both sides of the Atlantic. On the EU front, France and Germany, along with other EU countries, are pushing for aluminium to be classified as a strategic raw material, which will result in faster permit producers and increased financing for the industry, aiming to enhance the EU's green economy and reduce reliance on countries such as China. Overall, all US sectors closed lower on Friday. Utilities was the worst, whilst communication services recorded the fewest gains. The SPY futures are pointing to a fall of 0.2%. Thank you for listening.